He pushed me.
She's lying. My son did not push her.
Her daughter was crying on the pavement after being pushed off her bike, but instead of apologizing, the boy's mother pointed at the little girl and called her a liar. What happened next would expose a secret neither family expected. Drop a comment right now and tell us where in the world you are watching from. And if you are not yet subscribed to Turning Point Tales, hit that subscribe button now. Emily Carter was 10 years old. She was the kind of child who made friends easily and kept them carefully. She had a bicycle she rode home from school every Tuesday and Thursday when her father Daniel picked her up. She loved those days. Daniel walked beside her while she rode. They talked about her day. She showed him things on the route she thought he should notice. He always pretended he had not noticed them before. That was their thing. On a Thursday afternoon in October, they were leaving school when it happened. Emily was riding ahead of Daniel toward the main sidewalk. A group of children were ahead of them, among them a boy named Ethan. Ethan was 11, a year older than Emily, bigger than most children his age. He had been in Emily's class for the first part of the year before moving up a grade. Emily had noticed Ethan before Thursday. She had noticed him the way you notice someone who makes a room feel smaller when they walk into it. But she had kept her distance. On Thursday, she did not have enough distance. As she rode past the group, Ethan moved toward her bicycle from the side. He pushed the handlebar hard. Emily lost balance immediately. The bicycle went sideways. She went with it. Her books scattered across the pavement. She hit the ground on her left side. Daniel was 12 feet behind her when it happened. He ran. He reached Emily and crouched beside her. She was crying, not from the pain only, from the specific humiliation of being hurt in front of people who are all watching. Daniel checked her quickly. Her hands were grazed. Her knee was scraped. Nothing broken. He looked up. Ethan stood 3 feet away. His expression carried the expression of a child who has just done something and is now calculating what to say about it. Standing beside him, a black woman in her early 40s, his mother, Laura. Daniel stood up. He said, calmly, because Emily was listening, "Your son just pushed my daughter off her bike." Laura looked at him, then at Ethan. Then at Emily on the ground, she said, "My son did not push her." Daniel said, "I saw it happen." Laura said, "You were behind her. You could not have seen exactly what happened." She said, "My son would never do something like that." Emily looked up from the pavement, said, "He did. He pushed my handlebar." Laura looked at the 10-year-old on the ground and said, "She is mistaken." Daniel drove Emily home. He cleaned her hands. He put something on her knee. He made her the hot chocolate she had been drinking since she was 4 when something hurt. Then he sat across from her and asked her to tell him exactly what happened. She told him that Ethan had spoken to her earlier that day, in the corridor between classes. He had told her to stay out of his business. She had not understood what he meant. She had not said anything back. She had walked away. Daniel listened to all of it. He said, "Emily, you do not have to convince everyone that what happened to you is true." He said, "I believe you." She looked at her father. Something in her expression shifted, not completely better, but somewhere closer to it. He said, "Tomorrow we're going to school to talk to Principal Hayes." She nodded. He said, "And whatever that woman says, you know what you know." She said, "What if nobody else believes me?" He said, "Then we will deal with that together." He said, "But it starts with me believing you, and I do." They arrived at school the next morning 15 minutes early. Principal Hayes was in her office. She listened to Daniel carefully. She called Laura. Laura arrived 20 minutes later, Ethan beside her. The four of them sat across from Principal Hayes. Laura said, "My son did not push that girl." She said, "The children were riding and running on the same sidewalk. It was crowded. Accidents happen." She said, "I think this father is upset and I understand that. But Emily may have simply lost her balance." Daniel said, "I watched it happen." Laura said, "From 12 feet away, moving in the opposite direction." Daniel said, "I was behind Emily. I was watching her." Principal Hayes said, "I want to see if we have camera footage from the area near the front sidewalk." Laura's expression shifted slightly. The school security officer reviewed the footage. The camera nearest the incident was angled slightly away. The actual moment of contact was not captured clearly. Laura straightened in her chair. She said, "There you are. There is nothing to see." She said, "I think we can put this to rest." Then Mr. Osei knocked on the office door. He said, "Principal Hayes, there is a second camera on the east side entrance. It may have caught the angle from further back." Laura's expression changed. The second camera did not show the push clearly, but it showed two things that the first camera had not. It showed Ethan approaching Emily's bicycle from behind, and it showed Ethan, after Emily fell, looking around in both directions before walking away, not the way a child who witnessed an accident looks, the way a child who caused one and is checking whether anyone saw it looks. Principal Hayes watched the footage 3 times. She said, "This does not confirm contact," she said, "but it raises questions I would like to answer." Laura said, "Questions based on a child looking around. That is not evidence." Daniel said nothing. He was watching Laura, not with anger, with the specific attention of someone who is starting to notice that this woman is not simply defending her son, she is afraid of something. After the meeting, Emily was quiet in the car. Then she said, "Dad." He said, "Yes." She said, "There is something I did not tell you." He waited. She said, 3 weeks ago, I saw Ethan going through Marcus's backpack during lunch." She said, "Marcus left his bag by the bench when he went to get his food, and Ethan went into it. He took something small. I could not see what." She said, "I told Ethan I saw him." She said, "I told him I was going to tell a teacher." She said, "He said if I told anyone, he would make sure everyone thought I was a liar." Daniel pulled over. He sat with that for a moment. Then he said, "Emily, why did you not tell me this before?" She said, "Because he said nobody would believe me." She said, "And then he pushed me off my bike." She said, "And his mum said I was lying." She said, "And I thought maybe he was right." Daniel looked at his daughter. He said, "He was not right." He said, "Come on." He turned the car around. They went back to the school. Daniel asked Principal Hayes to check whether any students had reported missing money or belongings in the past month. Principal Hayes looked at him, said, "Why?" He told her what Emily had seen. Principal Hayes sat very still. Then she picked up her phone. She called 3 teachers. Within an hour, she had a list. 7 students, missing money, a phone charger, a small toy, a set of earbuds, all reported in the last 5 weeks, all reported without evidence, all dismissed as items misplaced. Principal Hayes called Laura back to the school that afternoon. The evidence took 2 days to find. A teacher who supervised the lunch area remembered something. A phone that had gone missing had been found in a different part of the school a week after it disappeared, near Ethan's locker. With a review of Ethan's locker, conducted with Laura present, they found other items, small things, the kind you take when you are not taking for greed, the kind you take when someone older has told you that taking is how you belong. Ethan broke in Principal Hayes's office, not dramatically. He cried the way children cry when they have been carrying something that was too heavy for them from the beginning. He said he had been pressured by a group of older boys who told him bringing them things was how you earned their company. He had been scared to say no. He had been scared to say yes. He had been scared the whole time. And when Emily had seen him and threatened to tell, his fear had become something else. Something he took out on a 10-year-old on a Thursday afternoon on a school sidewalk. Laura came to Daniel's house on a Saturday morning. She knocked. He opened the door. She said, "I owe your daughter an apology." He stepped back. Let her in. Emily was in the kitchen. Laura sat across from her. She said, "Emily, I called you a liar." She said, "In front of your father, in front of other children, in front of your principal." She said, "You were telling the truth the entire time, and I told you and everyone around you that what you saw and felt was not real." She said, "I am deeply sorry." Emily looked at her. She did not say it was fine. She said, "I just wanted you to believe me." Laura nodded. She said, "I know." She said, "I was so busy protecting my son that I did not see what I was doing to you." She said, "A child on the ground, telling the truth." She said, "And I called her a liar." Daniel said, "You did not just accuse Emily." He said, "You taught her that even when you are right, no one will believe you." He said, "That is something a child carries." Laura looked at the 10-year-old across the table. She said, "I know." She said, "I'm sorry." Emily sat with it. Then she said, "Is Ethan okay?" Laura looked at her. She had not expected that question. Emily said, "He did something wrong, but he seemed scared. Is he okay?" Laura said, "He's getting help." Emily nodded. She said, "Good." 3 weeks later, Emily rode her bicycle again. Daniel watched from the front step. She rode to the end of the driveway. She hesitated. He saw it. The pause of someone who remembers what the last time felt like. Then she pushed off. She rode down the street. She did not look back. Sometimes the hardest part is not the falling. It is finding the courage to stand back up when someone has told you that what happened to you was not real. And sometimes a father kneeling on a pavement and saying, "I believe you," before the investigation, before the camera footage, before the evidence, is the thing that makes standing back up possible. Because being believed can change everything. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to Turning Point Tales. We will see you in the next one.